What comes to mind when you think about growing up in Hawthorne?
I can't remember anything at all. No, it was out in the country. It was a little village, and actually all the other kids in the village went to one school and I went to another school a distance away because my parents sent me to a Catholic convent school. So I was a bit isolated, and all my the brothers and sisters were much older, and so it was a little bit lonely really, but not all bad.
What did you love to do as a kid before senior school?
I had an old bike and I just biked around everywhere. I just loved doing that. I'd race around the house. We could go right round our house on the bike all the time, forever. And also up the road was a set of swings. There was just 2 swings and that was it. So I spent a lot of time up there. And then when I was 10, another boy at my school moved into the village. So we spent a lot of time on the swings because he lived right outside the swings.
What did you love to do in senior school?
Well, I worked quite hard in senior school. I was rubbish at sport. I always avoided it as far as I possibly could. But I worked quite hard for most of the time anyway. Until I got to my A levels. My mum was very much a people person. She loved people. She loved children. So she loved babies and children, and so for example, when your dad was born, straight away from hospital, as soon as Nanny Jenny had the baby, within about a day, we went over and stayed with my mum, and she kind of helped look after your dad in his first week or so of life. And I remember going home from there. We'd quite recently joined the church, and we didn't really know much about the church, but we got home and the sisters in the Relief Society had, I'm going off the track a bit here, the sisters in the Relief Society had tidied up all the house and left some meals for us and all the rest of it, and we were so sort of overcome, we both cried with joy.
What was most important to her?
My mum. I think family, I would say, definitely. That's not, I know that's a bit of a stock answer, but it was absolutely true. But she did love people. I think why she loved people so much, and kids and family and all that, her mum died when she was 4, and her dad died when she was 18, and then the family kind of split up and she moved out and became a nanny. So once she had a family of her own, that was really special to her.
What do you remember most about your dad?
My dad, what I think about him was he was really hard working. He had a full-time job, but he also spent loads of time working in the garden, growing the veg for all of us, because I was one of 6 kids. And I remember he was honest. He rarely got angry. He'd always fall asleep at night, sitting in the chair, reading the paper, and he kind of would laugh because he'd be nodding off, and his false teeth would sort of half drop out of his mouth while I was reading the paper. But he was a very honest man. He never swore. I remember him once or twice saying bally as a sort of a swear word, and we thought that was really quite naughty.
What was most important to him?
I think honesty was really important to him, and hard work, I guess, and providing for his family and growing tasty veg.
If Granny and Grampy had a message to give to us as great-grandchildren, what do you think it is?
They would always tell us to do our best, but I'm not sure how much, I can't speak for my brothers and sisters, but I'm not sure how much I listened. I realised, there's a talk, I think it's President Uchtdorf, good, better and best. And so when I say they want us to do our best, I really mean our best, you know, not just the same, but really do our best, because we only get one chance at life, and if we choose to do the best all the time, as much as we can, then we're going to be happy.
How did you choose your career, and what was your favourite part about it?
My first career I kind of chose by chance, really, or opportunity, insofar as I was mentioning about how I worked hard at school until A levels, and regrettably I didn't work hard at A levels, so instead of going to university, I got a job on a building site, and just labouring, not a good job, but somebody I knew had gone on from there to become a scaffolder, putting scaffolding up around houses and buildings, and they asked me if I wanted to learn. So that's what I did. I became a scaffolder for about 20 years, and then there was what's called a recession, when there was difficult financial and economic problems in the country, and it meant that I couldn't get enough work, and I was self-employed, which meant I had to find my own work, and all the prices that you got for work went, so that I couldn't earn enough to keep the family, so I retrained as a social worker. I think in both cases, well, at the very end of my patriarchal blessing, it says that I would be safeguarded at work, and I would be protected to provide for my family, and that gave me great reassurance. Scaffolding can sometimes be quite a dangerous job, or it was then, before all the health and safety laws came in, and so I felt safeguarded. And also I think working hard and having a sense of satisfaction, knowing that you've done your best, gives a great sense of satisfaction. And the same with social work, which is kind of helping people that have got challenges. You get a lot of job satisfaction from seeing people do better than they were before.
What times in your life truly tested your mettle, and what did you learn about yourself by dealing or not dealing with them?
I remember one time I was working, not as self-employed, but I was working for a scaffolding firm, and because I was honest about a situation, I became very unpopular, and things got twisted around, and I got the sack, and that was very hurtful because I hadn't done anything wrong, and so that was a difficult time. I think also when things got tough and I couldn't provide for my family, that was a tough time, so I had to decide what else I could do. Sometimes, as you know, Nanny Jane isn't my first wife, and therefore I've had challenges in relationships, and as I look back on that, I could have made different decisions. I could have made best decisions instead of not best decisions, and so you could say in some aspects I failed, and so those were great challenges. But I think it's what you do with those failures. Learning now to try to learn from mistakes, and just press on regardless and be cheerful like your family is.
What 3 events most shaped your life?
I think there's no doubt that it was a big change when I joined the church, and that has absolutely shaped my life. 3, did you say 3 events? I guess choosing a career has absolutely shaped my life. So I'm still a social worker now, and although that was brought about because of the economic situation, I couldn't carry on. I couldn't earn enough to carry on scaffolding. I don't regret that. I'm glad I changed. Although I'm a bit fatter than I was when I was a scaffolder, because I'm not running around doing a physical job anymore, sit in a chair and get a big tummy. I don't regret that, so that has shaped my life. And I think having each child as they come along, and having a spouse to share that with, each time that adds a new dynamic to life. And especially as my children grow older now, I learn from them and what they're doing, how they're bringing their children up, all in different ways. And I also learn from Jane, and she learns from me. I think we grow together. So getting married to Nanny Jane was my most recent big event that I'm happily learning from.
What do you remember about when each of us were born?
I can't actually remember the days that you were born. I can remember thinking, well, Sam and Leanne are cheerful people, and I know when you were each named, straight away I was kind of attaching a cheerful ticket, because I thought these babies are going to be cheerful people, and I'm so glad that has come to pass. For example, I don't see you guys arguing with each other. You know, you get on, and you're a pleasure to be with, and I think that's, maybe without realising it, you've modelled yourselves on mum and dad. So I kind of anticipated that and looked forward to it, and it's come to pass. I can remember Maddie swallowing something awful and going to hospital.
I remember Dad always tells us the day I was born, he threw stones at the window or something.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, but because the grandparents aren't really supposed to be allowed into the hospital certainly on the first day, but I was sort of being cheeky and trying to get in and trying to attract attention, so I threw stones up at the window to try and say, "Let me in, I want to see that baby." I'll have a cuddle.
Were you ever scared? Were you ever scared?
I'm scared now.
Were you ever scared to be a parent?
Scared's probably a strong word, but yeah, I suppose it can be scary. I can't remember a particular time. Yeah, but it is, lots of things are scary, aren't they? And you kind of wonder whether you're doing the right thing, dealing with things that go on. Probably scared about whether I could provide and whether I was being a good husband and dad and all that sort of thing. And so yeah.
What 3 words would you say represented your approach to parenting?
And why?
I know what they'd be now. They'd be 2 words that go together: tough and love, tough love, and then a bit more love.
It's 5 words.
So tough, love, and love. Is that right, love?
When you think about Nanny Jane, how would you describe her?
Oh, she is a diamond. She's a very hard worker, and she's perfect for me, really. I'm very other people love her, and I'm very glad that she's a good girl and spoils me, really.
What message do you have for us that you want us to always keep in mind?
That life is rarely easy, and if it does become easy, then watch out, because that means there's something tough around the corner. But you know, the scriptures say we are here to have joy, and I absolutely believe that. So I think it's about getting a balance, but to absolutely remember that we have only got this one time on earth, and actually it's worth cherishing every moment and celebrating it, and not taking life too seriously, having a great time, but for goodness sake, you know, make every day worthwhile. Not just for yourself and what you want, but in giving and sharing, because I think that's the way we can achieve happiness.
When they think about careers, what do you want your children to focus on?
Being happy in what you do. Obviously, it's got to be a career enough to feed the family, but I think there's no point in earning loads of money if you're going to be miserable.
What 3 words would you say best describe who you tried to be in life and how you want to be remembered?
That's a difficult one. 3 words, that's awkward. No, awkward's not one of them. But I probably am a bit awkward.
Doesn't have to be 3. It's just...
Oh, okay. The musician that never was. I've got lots of music and themes and different things in my head, but I've never produced them for various reasons. In many ways I'm self-disciplined, but in others not at all. So I would say one word that describes me is mixture.
How do you want to be remembered?
I beg your pardon?
How do you want to be remembered?
As a very old man, because I want to live a long life.
What have you learned about other people in life?
I think that we're all in the same boat in a way. We're all full of good and great potential, good and great things, and good and great intentions, depending on our upbringing and our childhood, what circumstance we happen to be born in, and genetically what we were blessed with, and our Heavenly Father blessed us. But I think, you know, there is good and bad in everyone, and I think what we have to do with each other is try and focus on the good, just like we want to be thought of in our most positive aspects, don't we? And so I think we have to sort of approach everyone with a smile on their face and in their heart, see the best in people, because there is the best in everyone and there's the worst. And if we're going to focus on the worst in people, well, we're going to be pretty miserable.
What do you believe people want the most in life?
I guess they want some kind of fulfilment. Obviously, everyone wants happiness, don't they? I don't think everybody realises how to achieve that. What was the question again? What do you think most people want?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know most people who have children, the vast majority of people who have children want the best for their children and care about their children. They might not know the best way to do that, and sometimes might be doing the very opposite of what their children really need. But I think most parents anyway want the best for their children if they're wise, and you know, and also, you know, there's that scripture, isn't there? Honour your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land. So I think really everybody would prefer to get on with each other, but things get in an awful muddle, don't they? So hence, you know, we've got wars all over the world because people get greedy, but they've got it back to front. It never, being greedy never makes us happy, but people do want to be happy. So I think it'd be good if people could just take some thinking time and think, well, what do we really want? Somebody told me that when I had to make a bishop. Told me that when I had to make a big decision. They said, well, what do you really want? And so, I mean, I suppose you could say, well, I want to play Fortnite 25 hours a day for the rest of my life. Yeah, but do you really want that? Because is it really going to make you happy? Probably not.
What are the 3 best decisions you've ever made?
Ooh, well, in being baptised, I gave up some bad habits, and that's when I started to live the word of wisdom. And it is wisdom, and it isn't just don't do these things, it's also do some things. So being baptised and living the word of wisdom, and I guess having a family. I wouldn't be talking to you guys if I hadn't had a family. And also, although I don't achieve it as much as I should, deciding not to worry. Worry doesn't do us any good.
What are you most proud of in life?
Again, it's sort of a bit of a pat answer, but other people say this as well, and it's funny, it keeps coming back to family, but there's family are our flesh and blood, the people that went before us and the people that are here now and come after us. So it has to be my family, and I suppose yeah, that's it. That's the bottom line.
What message would you like to share with your family?
Don't worry, be happy.
What were 5 of the most positive moments of your life? I think I've probably answered all that with all the other bits and pieces, really.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you most thankful for?
I work with people that are unwell in some way or another, mentally or physically. Spiritually, we work with people who are unwell. We're all, none of us are perfect in any way, but I'm very, very grateful for my physical health, and that you know, relatively speaking, all my family are well, because you know, you see things on the news, don't you, every day, of tragedies that happen and accidents and such like. I met a guy recently who can't talk, can't walk. He's like a baby. He's in his 30s. He had a car accident when he was 19, and so you know, I'm very, very grateful that as things are at the moment, everyone's fit and well, and that we live in a land of, you know, freedom and opportunity, where we get more than a meal every day. In fact, we get too much access to food, because a lot of us get fat, but that's a privilege.
That's it.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me.